My name is Anthony Parenti, and I cosplay as Hawkeye. Hawkeye is my favorite superhero because he is just a regular guy. He's kind of a screw-up, but despite that, he's able to stand on the Avengers with high-powered teammates like gods and super soldiers. And he's able to hold his own with just a stick and a string. So in the MCU, Hawkeye, in my opinion, has never really had that cool of a costume. They never really took inspiration from the main line of comic books. I know that costume is hard to adapt, but I think it's possible. The Age of Ultron and the Endgame suits were okay, so I really just wanted to see if it was possible to make something that would look good on the big screen. I kind of just wanted to see first if I could make the helmet look cool. So I found a template online for a Captain America helmet, and I decided to add the fins to it that everyone says look like Wolverine. And lo and behold, it actually looked pretty good. From there, I guess I snowballed into making the rest of the costume. I started with the chest, which looked a lot like Nightwing at first, but with a couple modifications, it looked a lot better. I did the legs and the arms, and the quiver, which I took inspiration from the original Avengers movie. And before I knew it, I had an entire Hawkeye costume. I was pretty happy with the result. This was my first cosplay ever, and I took it to Heroes Con 2017. And it was a big hit. Everyone seemed to like it. I even got to take it on stage to lose the contest. But despite that, I was inspired by everyone's reactions to build a better suit for next year. Pretty much everything on the second version was redesigned and rebuilt. I switched mostly from EVA foam to craft foam, which is just a thinner version of foam. You can go down and get it at Michael's. I thought it would be cool to add a display arm where Hawkeye could look at his various statistics and whatnot. So I pretty much just made a foam gauntlet and put my phone in it and designed a cool screen on Final Cut Pro, and it looked pretty awesome. A lot of people responded well to that. So I added a cochlear implant to this version because Clint is deaf in the comic book, and I thought it would be important to incorporate that into my suit. Just the top of a deodorant container and the top of a shaving cream container that I modified and made look cool, but everyone thinks it's real, so I was pretty happy with that costume. It did have a lame cape, but I still took it to a lot of conventions. I even won a couple of awards with that, and I was happy with that costume. After I had taken that costume around, I was inspired to build a third and hopefully the best version of the suit. So for the third version, I pretty much redesigned everything on the costume. I started with the helmet, and I kind of reverse engineered the last helmet I made to make this new version fit a lot better, and it worked great. The helmet looked awesome. I made a Mr. Fantastic costume in between versions 2 and 3 that was completely made out of yoga mats, and I felt confident enough with that material to incorporate it into this Hawkeye design. So all of the black pieces you see on this suit are yoga mats. The rest of it is completely craft foam. From the helmet, I moved down to the chest piece, which looked great. I painted it up, and I realized it was the wrong size. So I had to rebuild that completely from scratch again, but it looked better the second time, and it fit better. For the quiver on this costume, I wanted to do something a little different. Hawkeye is ambidextrous, and I wanted to show that off with my costume. So not only is most of the costume symmetrical, but there is now a dual quiver, so that Clint can draw arrows from either side. For the design of the costume, I took inspiration from a lot of different Clint costumes, but pretty much everything is my own design. On the belt, there is a lot of stuff from Clint's past. I've got the switchblade that Swordsman gave him. I've got his wedding ring, the ring his father used to beat him with. I've got 2 spare arrowheads and a vial of Pym particles from his days as Goliath. I've also got a container that I made to hold a canteen of water. I thought that would be convenient at conventions. Unfortunately, I never took this costume to a convention because of COVID, which is very unfortunate, but it is what it is. I am very happy with this third version of the costume. I think it is the best by far. Now that I've finished this third version, I can't help but think about what the fourth version is going to look like. Hawkeye is my favorite superhero because he is just a regular guy. He's kind of a screw-up, but despite that, he's able to stand on the Avengers with high-powered teammates like gods and super soldiers. and he's able to hold his own with just a stick and a string. My name is Anthony Parenti, and I cosplay as Hawkeye.